huge financial milestone, finally saving your first $10,000. What you do in this exact moment can literally set the stage for the rest of your financial life. It's the difference between building real, lasting wealth or getting stuck in a frustrating loop of saving and losing. So let's get into the blueprint that really separates the savers from the true wealth builders.
So, you did it. After all that hard work, all that saying no to things, you finally hit that big five-figure mark in your savings account. And man, that feels incredible, right? But almost immediately, this huge question pops into your head. Now what? You're at a crossroads, and believe me, the decision you make right now is everything.
Okay, so the first thing you've got to wrap your head around is what I call the $10,000 paradox. It's a really strange place to be, financially speaking, because that money is, at the exact same time, a massive, massive achievement and, well, almost nothing at all. I mean, on one hand, you should be incredibly proud. Seriously, you're already way ahead of a huge chunk of the population. But on the other hand, let's be real, it's not I quit my job money. It's not enough to retire on, it's not a down payment on a house in most places, and one bad emergency could make it vanish. So think of it not as wealth itself, but as the foundation where you're going to build your wealth. And just to put that into perspective, check this out. Surveys consistently show that around 40% of Americans can't even cover a surprise $1,000 bill. So yeah, your 10 grand is a huge deal. But the whole goal now is to make sure it doesn't just disappear, which brings us to the most common trap people fall into. Let's walk through what happens to most people who get to this point. It's this super frustrating pattern that keeps them from ever really getting ahead. I call it the cycle of broke. And it all starts with one tiny mistake, one that seems totally harmless. You leave all that money sitting right there in your everyday checking account. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but what's happening psychologically is you're blending your life savings with your buy a coffee money. And that is where all the trouble begins. So you log into your bank app and you see this beautiful five-figure number. Feels amazing, you feel rich, you feel secure, so you start to loosen up a little bit. It's not one big crazy purchase. It's just a few extra dinners out, maybe you upgrade your phone. We call this lifestyle creep. And over a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, all those little reasonable purchases start to add up. You haven't even noticed, but your foundation is already starting to crack. You tell yourself, oh, I'll get it back up next month, but you've already gotten used to spending just a little bit more. And then life happens. The car breaks down, or you get a surprise medical bill. A single, totally normal emergency hits, and bam, just like that, a huge chunk of what was left is gone. And you're left feeling completely defeated, wondering how all that hard work just evaporated. This is the cycle we have to break. So, how do we break it? You break it with a strategy that is so simple, it almost sounds too easy. This is what people who actually build wealth do the moment they hit 10 grand. It's called the two-bucket blueprint. The entire strategy is this. You immediately split your money into two buckets, and you give each bucket a very specific job. Bucket number one is your emergency fund. This is for true oh-no emergencies only. Bucket number two is your investment money. Its only job is to grow for the long haul. Okay, here are the exact actionable steps you need to take. First, you're going to open a completely separate high-yield savings account. It's just a savings account that pays way more interest than your brick-and-mortar bank. Move $3,000 to $5,000 in there. That's your emergency fund. Do not touch it. Then, open an investment account. A Roth IRA is perfect for this, and put the rest, the other 5 to 7 grand, in there. And here's why this works so well. It's all about psychology. By physically moving the money out of your checking account, you create friction. It's not just sitting there, tempting you. Your brain stops seeing a $10,000 balance and instead just gets used to living on whatever is left in your checking account. This one move fundamentally changes your spending habits without you even trying. But listen, that first split, that's just step one. The real secret here is to turn this one-time action into a self-sustaining system, a wealth machine that works for you automatically even when you're not paying attention to it. And you do this with automation. You go into your payroll and set up automatic transfers that happen every single paycheck. A little bit goes to your high-yield savings and a little bit goes to your investment account. This is so critical because look, motivation fades. Motivation is what gets you started, but a system is what keeps you going month after month, year after year. And this is where the system's real power kicks in. that initial $5,000 you invested, if you just leave it alone in the market, thanks to the magic of compound growth, it can literally double in about 10 years and maybe even quadruple in 20. And the best part? You do nothing but wait. Now, a quick but really important point here. We are not talking about trying to get rich quick. Don't try to pick the next hot stock. Don't gamble on crypto. The goal is long-term growth through boring, reliable, broad market index funds that basically own a tiny piece of the entire stock market. It's a proven strategy, and boring is good.
And when you're investing, where you put the money is a huge deal. A Roth IRA is one of the most powerful tools out there for a new investor. Why? Because the money grows completely 100% tax-free. That $5,000 could grow into $50,000 someday, and you would not pay a single dime in taxes on that $45,000 gain. That is an unbelievable advantage.
All right, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle. This is less about tactics and more about a fundamental shift in your mindset. It's about changing how you view money, from short-term spending to long-term growth. And this right here, this cuts right to the heart of it. The broke mindset asks, what can I buy with $10,000 right now? The wealthy mindset asks, what can this $10,000 become if I just give it time and a job to do? Your answer to that one question will determine your entire financial future. This is why that temptation to immediately use your $10,000 as a down payment on a new car or something is so dangerous. It resets your savings to zero, it locks you into a huge monthly payment, and it leaves you with absolutely no safety net. You become financially fragile at the exact moment you're finally starting to become strong. So here's the bottom line. Hitting $10,000 isn't the finish line, it's the starting line. By setting up this simple two-bucket system, you're not just saving money anymore. You are building the machine that will generate wealth for the rest of your life. The choice you make right now with this money is going to echo for decades. So which path are you going to choose?